Hello and welcome to Mangatory 96, and today we're going to talk about Classroom of the Elite. Today's topic will be the loner bookworm who, despite her loner mentality and sticking out like a sore thumb in Class C, has Ruin's trust to lead Class C in his absence. I'm of course talking about Hiyori Shiina. But before we start, here's the spoiler warning. I will be spoiling a lot of things in this video, so if you don't want to be spoiled, I'll highly recommend that you're going to read the light novel, as it is an enjoyable read. For everyone else, let's start with who Hiyori is. Hiyori Shiina is one of the students of Class 1C who appears as a loner compared to the rest of her classmates that huddle around their leader Kakeru Ruin. So far, she is currently said to be a second-year student of the Advanced Nurturing High School. At the start of the series, she was introduced as a freshman who initially originated from Class 1C. When Ruin was not around to lead them, she and Satoru Kaneda were handed the role as co-leaders of the class to be his substitution. Hiyori was said to have been a quiet and reserved girl, although she is occasionally seen smiling at times whenever she happens to engage someone in a conversation who has a similar taste as her in books. Even though she was quite happy being alone, she also felt a sense of loneliness every once in a while and wants to establish friendship with someone along the way. She always carries books with her in her bag in case she meets someone who shares the same interest in literature like her. In the event it catches their attention and they reach out to her. Since nobody in Class 1C is into literature, Hiyori doesn't have anyone to talk to about the novels she reads. She extremely loved books to the point that when she finds someone who has the same or similar reading hobby like her, she will become overly and excitedly talkative without noticing it herself until after the conversation was almost ending. She would act enthusiastically and cheerful when she found her first friend and reading buddy at the school library where she often visits from time to time. She was regarded as a pacifist in nature. In spite of this, she still harbors a strong desire to respect the wishes of her class. While she possesses a gentle face that appears as outwardly kind, she is honest and bold with her words when giving her own analysis, making her classmates like Mio Ibuki feel that she can be merciless if she asks by others for her opinion. Hiyori is rational and cooperative whenever her class was in a difficult situation, speaking logically about what she feels was right to do and needed to be taken into consideration. She is an adventurous individual who expresses curiosity of the unknown, appearing seemingly interested in meeting new people who intrigue her and going to different places she has never been to before. On the other hand, she is occasionally energetic and outgoing, making the decision to invite a few classmates into karaoke and sing several songs with them. She can even appear as thoroughly curious of the class atmosphere that will be questioned towards it. Hiyori will brighten the mood of the people she gathered together to hang out, proposing they stay longer with her and have some fun times. Her attitude is encouraging and uplifting to make people like Mio feel it as difficult to reject, choosing to go along with the fellow she created. She always speaks politely, including to those who are not part of her class. She dislikes how the class are competing with each other and made everyone hostile to one another, wanting what she feels is the best for everyone. Hiyori can't help but be concerned if one of her friends are in deep trouble by things like rumors and explosion. She wishfully desires for everybody to be friends and remain friendly no matter their background and position in conflicts. If she sees someone from Class 1C being awfully rude to other students despite them not belonging in the same class as her, she was still determined to find a way to make amends in relations. She would use some of her pride points to buy that victim a replacement when a classmate of her done something as disrespectful, destroying their thing. She felt it was rightful to express apology and forgiveness on behalf of her class, even though her classmates never asked the former to go through with that sort of action. She has a strong heart to embrace the harsh reality that is explosion, knowing that a certain sacrifice has to be made at the price of saving someone who was more valuable to the class like Mio and Kakeru over the others. She is wishful and outspoken for what's best between all classes, hoping that someday everyone will battle each other that doesn't involve hostility without letting class competition and conflict get in the way of dictating how they feel about each other. She genuinely wanted to befriend Kiyotaka after he helped her reach out for a misplaced book in the library, and they started to talk about mystery novels ever since whenever the two meet up together. She was even described to be very mindful of her own actions and manners to anyone she might think her as being disrespectful, intrusive. For this reason, she didn't want to let people see her as incompetent, that she didn't know how to do something people like Kiyotaka who could handle things on his own. It was a matter of maintaining her pride and appearance in front of others without coming off as incapable in front of others, worrying that it may somehow inconvenience them unless the person was fine with it. Let alone that, Hiyori cares deeply about her friends like Kiyotaka, whenever they're her classmates or not, to the point of getting her message across to the other side that she doesn't want to see someone closest to her expelled. She is a patient, considerate girl, willing to wait for however long she wants and tolerate people being late to the meeting she arranged. With her classmates, Hiyori acts happy-go-lucky and carefree, as she appears to be enjoyable, appreciative of the accompaniment and conversation of her classmates if she views it as nice and lively to her. At the library, she has a bookworm type of attitude and manners, going as far as to remain completely silent when she gets herself immersed into reading even while in the presence of a friend, no desire to talk until near the end when break time is over. She is thoughtful of what her feelings towards Kiyotaka were, then seems unknown to her at the time, seeking to explore further of why this was the case with him and not like the other boys by meeting and talking to the latter in person. After falling in love with Kiyotaka and developing romantic feelings for him, she became incredibly happy with herself, thinking that she was the same as other girls, experiencing the exciting things as them. Understanding where the girls are coming from when liking a person, she became more inclined to sort out her thoughts about the person, taking immediate action by doing an investigation on it herself. This was indicated when she grew a little proactive and impatient, wanting to quickly contact Kiyotaka as soon as possible and have him arrange a face-to-face meeting with her. For instance, Kiyotaka wanted to meet her again next time during early April, but Hiyori convinced him that they can hang out together earlier in the middle of late March instead, which she desires. She can be a bit incensed and assertive in pulling Kiyotaka along with her fellow classmates, wrapping her two arms around his own to drag him to their meeting place. She is not only someone who was regarded as trustworthy by her classmates, but also she has trusting side to her attitude, fulfilling and recalling promises that her former and latter had made. Hiyori is also confident about the people she harbors trust for, believing that Ruina will definitely come to her meeting and how Kiyotaka won't get expelled in the uninhibited island exam as she has shown faith in him. Whenever explaining the reason of why she thinks like that, Mio notes that Hiyori herself didn't seem to understand the sheer weight of her own words. Each and every moment in time she is with Kiyotaka, she was yearning to talk to him more and more. Hearing from her classmate Daichi that he will be visiting Kiyotaka in hopes of trying to convince him to switch side and join her class, she was more than ready to accept his idea and didn't mind agreeing to that plan. It was her intention all along of seeking to spend more time with Kiyotaka, using Daichi's plan as an excuse to go and find him. Even if that plan looks almost impossible to fulfill, she was willing to go along with whatever Daichi had in mind about Kiyotaka, feeling happily delighted to know her classmates considers the thought of having him transferred to their class. Hiyori even finds Daichi's reasoning to be a bit interesting to her when he suggests she starts a dating relationship with Kiyotaka as a way to get him to move to their classroom. As for her past, in the advanced nurturing high school, it was said that Hiyori didn't have anyone she could truly consider as her friend in the classroom, had always been spending time alone by herself in the school library. It was not as though she didn't want to make friends, but she had never been good at dealing with people. Outside of class time, she would sometimes visit the library as a place of reading, checking out and borrowing books from there before bringing it to her dorm to read. According to Kiyotaka, she was the kind of girl who happened to have an extreme love for books more than anyone else in her classroom altogether. As for her relationship with Honami, during the mixed training camp special exam, Hiyori is able to get along nicely with Honami, believing it is an honor she could befriend her. After eating the same food and sleeping together in the same room as one another, she develops and feels a strong bond with Honami that she would with other students. Once the two become friends, she develops concern for her well-being as shown when she reaches out to Kiyotaka to ask for his assistance in resolving a matter concerning Honami. She dislikes seeing Honami suffering and being tortured mentally by the terrible rumors being spread negatively of her. Hiyori describes Honami as the type of person who was kind enough to be friendly to the former, who barely had any friends to talk to except for the latter and a few others. She was willing to assist Honami with her troubles even if the latter did not ask for it. Although she and Honami are mutual enemies from their respective classes, Hiyori still believes that there must be something that she can do to help her friend out without interfering in the class conflict. She doesn't mind postponing the discussion with Kyotaka at a later date and time for her sake, not wishing to cause any more trouble for Honami if it ends up spreading more of the bad rumors about her friend further. With this, I covered everything that I wanted to cover on Hiyori. And that'll be all for this video. If you like this video, leave a like, leave your thoughts in the comments below, or subscribe to the channel for more manga reviews and One Piece content. And until next time, take care.